Hey, how are you? Today we are going to speak about faith, and we are going to speak from the book of Mark, chapter 11. And this is a story of Jesus Christ and his disciples. They were walking and they approach a fig tree. And Jesus, when he sees the fig tree, he goes to it to get fruit and he realizes it does not have fruit. So, what does Jesus do? He speaks to the fig tree, he curses it and he says, "Let no man ever eat fruit from you ever again." So there was a problem that presented itself, and what did Jesus do? He applied his faith by speaking. So later on, from verse 20, when you go downwards, from verse 20, they approached, they walked back the same route in the morning. And the disciples, especially Peter, realized that the fig tree had died. The fig tree that Jesus spoke to had died. So he's wondering, "Oh, Master, how did you do this?" Or Rabbi, how did you do this? So now Jesus teaches him the principle that was applied. And this is the principle of faith. So Jesus tells him, have faith in God, because that is the principle of faith. And then he says, from verse 23, "Surely I say to you, whoever says to this mountain." So he's teaching them a principle that when there is an obstacle in front of you, whoever you are, say to this mountain, because you have faith. Your faith has to have works. So you have to apply the principle of faith in your situation. Whatever mountain it is it a mountain of debt, a mountain of sickness, a mountain of disease, whatever mountain that is before you, you have to speak to the mountain. And what do you tell it? He says, whoever speaks to this mountain and says to it, "Be removed and be cast into the sea." So you speak to the mountain and you tell it what should happen. If it is sickness, I speak to you sickness and I command you out of my body and I declare healing. Because you're speaking to the mountain and you're telling it what should happen to the mountain, okay? And when you speak, does not doubt in his heart, but believes those things that they have said will be done. So he speaks to the mountain. And when you speak, you do not doubt, because in many instances we speak and then we doubt, or we speak and then we undo our own words. For example, in the example I've given of sickness, you speak to the sickness and I command you sickness out of this body and I declare healing. Now, let's say after you've prayed like that, the sickness, if it is a headache, let's say it has not gone immediately, you still feel symptoms of the headache. You do not doubt the words that you have spoken, because the principle of faith, it is not guided by senses. It is not guided by what you see, what you hear, what you touch, and what you can smell. Faith is in the unseen. Okay? So you do not doubt what you have spoken. You believe what you have spoken. And it says, "It shall be done for you." So the principle of faith is very, very important. In whatever situation that arises, you have to apply faith, and your faith should be backed by words, and your words should be backed by the word of God. So in the principle of faith, it is believing in the word of God, not in what people are saying, not in the circumstances around you, but faith is in believing in what God has spoken in line with that situation. And there is a Bible answer to every situation in your life. There is a Bible answer to every question in your life. So you have to find it out, okay? So the first thing is you have to learn to speak, okay? Declare. Tomorrow I will continue from here.